This is one question taken from class 10th statistics. You can see there is a frequency distribution table given here. And we also know the mean of this, like the mean in this case is, that is denoted by X bar. We know the mean in this case, that is 50. And what we have to find out is F1 and F2, these missing values given. So this is what we have to calculate. Moreover, we also know the sum of these frequencies. So this is 17 plus F1 plus 32 plus F2 plus 19 should be 2 in total of 120. So for that, what we need to do, as you can see, I have made 4 columns. First is class interval, copying from here. Then the midpoint, that is class mark. Then we have frequencies denoted by F1. And finally, the product of F1 and X1. So we'll start by writing these values. I have already written the class interval, and now we'll be calculating the class mark. Class mark, as you should know, that it is the midpoint and it is calculated as upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. For example, in this case, we have to fill like 0 plus 20 over 2, which is 20 by 2. That comes out to be 10. So we'll be writing these numbers here. So I'll calculate their midpoints. As you can see, the midpoint we have calculated in this case is 10. Then between 20 and 40, the midpoint is 30. It is 50. Then next is 70. And finally, it is 90. Then I've calculated. Now, next we have to do is to calculate these frequencies. So it's 17 plus 32 plus 19. We'll calculate. This is coming 68. So we'll be writing this. Summation is the symbol for sum of all entries, and that is 68 plus F1 plus F2, that is in this case. Now we'll be calculating the product of F1 and X1. So this is 10 into 17, then 30 into F1, and so on. We'll be calculating and writing in the final column. So as you can see, that is 17 into 10 is 170. This is 170. Next is 30 times F1. Next will be 1600. That is 32 into 50. Then next is 32, 17, 70 into F2. That is 17, 70 times F2. And finally, it is 90 into 19. That will give you 1710. Below, we'll be adding these numbers. Make sure you do not add these numbers. This will be written separately. Now adding the remaining values, by that I mean to say 170 plus 1600 plus 1710 will give you this 3480 plus 30 times F1 plus 70 times F2. Now, once we are done with this, this is the sum of the remaining. Now we'll be applying the formula for calculating the mean. And we'll have two equations. First of all, I can equate this value. I can equate this value as 120 with this. As you can see, the sum of these frequencies are given as 120. So we can calculate this value, and we'll be writing this as 68 plus F1 plus F2 is equal to 120. On transposing, we can say F1 plus F2 will give you 120 minus 68. It is 68. 68. That means F1 plus F2 is equal to 52. So I'm marking this as equation 1. In the next part, we'll be applying the mean formula. The formula for calculating the mean is X bar, that is sigma Fi Xi, that divided by sigma Fi. As you can see, we have this sigma Fi Xi, right? This being sigma Fi Xi. And instead of taking sigma Fi as this, we'll be taking this 120. As you know, this sum of these is 120 only. It's given here. So we'll be replacing these values. Mean, which is also mentioned, mean which is given to us, X bar, which is mean, which was given as 50. So we are replacing these values. I'm replacing X bar, that is the mean, with 50. sigma Fi xi with this value, that is 3480 plus 30 times F1 plus 70 times F2, that divided by 120. Further, in order to solve it, we can reduce it. As I can see, 10 is common from the numerator and denominator. 10 is coming common from here as well as here, and we'll reduce it. So what we can write here, that is 50 is equal to 348, because I'm taking 10 common, and that is 3 times F1 plus 7 times F2, and 10 common from below, and they get cancelled. Now, next we'll do cross multiplication. So 15 into 12, that is 600. And then I'm bringing this number to the left. It will get subtracted, minus 348. That is equal to 3 times F1 plus 7 times F2. Now, on further solving, this is 348. Now, on further solving, what we are getting here, this will get as 252 times 252 is equal to 3 times F1 plus 7 times F2. That should be our second equation. So we've got two equations. One is this, and the other is this. So these two equations will be solved now to obtain the value of F1 and F2. So we can do the elimination method to solve. So let's say if I multiply 3 in this equation, as I have to equate, I'm equating F1 here. So if I multiply this, this will give you 3 times F1 plus 3 times F2, multiplying 3 over here. And this is 3 times 52. So that is equal to 156. And I'm transferring these values, this one, on this side. So this is 3F1 plus 7 times F2 is equal to 252. Now for eliminations, we'll change the sign. As we are subtracting minus, minus, and minus, this is clearly get cancelled. So 3 minus 4 is minus, 3 minus 7 is minus 4, F2. And this, if you subtract, this will get from this 352 when subtracted, will get minus 96. Now we can reduce it further. This is get cancelled, and 4 on dividing this by 4 will get 24. So clearly we got F2 as 24. Once we have the value of F2, we got the value of F2 as 24. The next we are going to do is to place F2 as 24 here. That will give us the value of F1. So this is F1 plus 24 is equal to 52. So F1 will be calculated as 52 minus 24, and 24, if I add, we'll get this as 28. So F1 is 28. This is the value of F1. This is 28 here. So that means we got F1 and F2. We can replace this F1 here as 28 and F2 being 24. That's how we'll be doing this question.